Heidi ho, good neighbors. How are you? Happy Tuesday. It's Phil Russell's CreatorCon Q&A, episode 109. We have a really cool creator today with a really interesting looking book, but he's got so much more than just this campaign going on, which is really good. And I'm really rooting for him because this is an awesome, bold move in his life. And we're going to get into that. Before we get into that, of course, Greg Johnston, what is up? It was so good to meet you in person over the weekend. You are a cool dude, and thanks for stopping by to say hi to me and for all your support. Before I get to my sponsors, everybody, please share this video out. Let everybody know we're here. Let's give our guest a little love because he's really got a lot going on, and we want to support the indie community. We want to support creators. So please share this out, guys. Even if you don't stay for the whole video, just hit that share button. Send it out to everybody you know on your page so he can get some love. We all need a little love. All you need is love. Anyway, so our sponsors today, Knuckle Supper Studios, Jason Meadows. He's launched his second campaign, Tales from Muralsville, offering 3 new issues, 88 pages of full-color superhero action and fun for only $9. If you missed the first 3 issues, you could pick those up too, and all 6 issues are only $15, which is a steal. I've read it. It's a great book. A lot of ironic twists and things you don't see coming. Very well written, and it's a good-looking book, too. The art is great. It's fun. It's entertaining. Comics with good writing and great art, similar to Astro City, but in the vein of those great indie comics from the 80s. No politics or morals, just pure escapism. Comics the way comics were meant to be. It's almost over on Indiegogo, so please go check it out. Again, it's Tales from Muralsville from Knuckle Supper Studios, Jason Meadows. He's a good man who supports the indie community, so please go help him out. We've also got Craven's Comics and Collectibles. They buy and sell trade a wide variety of various collectibles, including comic books, trading cards, action figures, and much more. They have a weekly live show that airs every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on their Facebook page at facebook.com/Craven's Comics. Their live show features tons of high-end comic books, including slabs, key issues, signed books, stackers, and many other sought-after issues. Additionally, they offer CGC submission services, comic book cleaning, pressing and restoration, supplies, and much more. Also, if you're looking to sell your comics or collectibles, whether it's a single issue or a whole collection, they've got you covered. They can help you sell you piece by piece via consignment, or they can buy your collection outright from you in cash. The choice is yours. Make sure to check out their website as well at www.cravenscomics.com. That's KRAVENS comics.com. Craven's Comics for the comics you crave. All right, now that I fumbled through that and messed that up, again, let's share this out, everybody. We have a great guest tonight, and he's a great pillar in the community here. He's doing something really awesome. He's about to really go on a great adventure in life, and I really want to help him launch that off really well. So we have writer, artist, creator of worlds and characters and books and T-shirts and paraphernalia and you name it, an awesome artist, a really awesome human being, Chud Nuss.
That was awesome.
Their
introduction, man. I don't know if I can live up to that one. That was great.
Yeah, please. Of course you will. Now, if my phone will stop acting up, I can start sharing this out, but it's... You ever have your phone, it won't switch back to vertical if you had it on horizontal? Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that, and it's aggravating the heck out of me. So I have to do this. So how the hell are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Like you said, it's new venture and all that kind of thing. I quit my day job, and now I kind of do my own thing, which is fantastic. So I'm very excited. A little nervous, a little anxious, like anyone would be, but overall, this is I tell my wife all the time, like, I'm living my best life now. This is like amazing. So I'm pretty excited about life right now.
Well, what's the saying? Fortune favors the bold. And
yeah, I hope
it does. And I honestly commend you on your bravery. And, it's a lot of hard work. People don't understand. It's not just, I get to sit home and draw now.
Yeah.
Marketing and promoting and everything that comes with it. So we're going to get into all those different aspects of what you're implementing to get your empire going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for
hey,
sure.
Rick. Hey, I know that guy.
Oh, there he is.
I told you he was going to show up like a
Yep.
cankersaur.
Rick and I have kind of a love-hate relationship.
Oh, really?
Mostly on the hate side, but every once in a while I'll show him some love. So.
Now, just as I told you, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm sharing this out to a bunch of groups. I am not. My attention is on you. I am hearing you.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want the viewers to think that either. So tell us a little about yourself as far as how you got into art and creating and writing.
Yeah. So I mean, the real basic thing is I'm originally from Canada. As we were talking before the show, moved around quite a bit, growing up, and landed in the States. And I've lived in the States most of my life, so I feel more American than Canadian. And met my wife here, live here in Louisville, Kentucky. As far as the art goes, like I've always loved to draw ever since I was a kid. I would say like the two biggest influences, my uncle, who is an artist, he does graphic design. He got me a stack of comic books, and it was like 3 or 4 of them. It was like G.I. Joe, Indiana Jones, and a couple
Nice.
other. But the G.I. Joe one is the one that I remember, because that's the one that just really piqued my interest as far as comic book art. And then from there, my mom got me how to draw comics the Marvel way.
Oh yeah, that's the Bible, man. That's the Bible.
Yeah. We were walking around the store when I was in elementary school, and I found it, and she bought it for me. And I remember literally during, especially middle school and high school, sitting at our kitchen table for hours, like just devouring that book. And that's really what taught me how to draw, was that book, and just looking at comics. And then, shortly after that, it was high school. I was in the 90s, and the Image guys came out. And then from there, it just took off. Like those guys just blew my mind. And so I was, people often make fun of me because we talk about comic books, and I'm like, I never read any of the books. I just got them for the art. So there's so many books I have I've never read, just because I loved just looking at the drawings so much and trying to emulate what they were doing. So
see, when I first started reading, I didn't pay attention to writers and artists. I didn't give a crap. It was just, wow, look at this. This is amazing.
Yeah. Like the things they could do is just, it's just incredible. I still look back at those books, and it just blows your mind how different it was too from I'm not a comic book historian, but when you look at like Golden, Silver, and Bronze Age books versus like these Image books, was just like it totally bended the genre of what you could do. It was quite amazing. So,
well, to me, the Bronze Age brought in more storytelling that followed through, future. Yeah. But the end of the Bronze Age and going like in the 80s and stuff like that is where you really started to see the art really shine. Yeah. And then, of course, you went into the art explosion in the 90s. Yeah. Real quick, love-hate relationship. I love to hate that guy.
I told you. Yep, I told you.
Or hate to love him.
Hate to love him, yeah.
And, of course, Gerald comes in. Hey there, we featured Chad first for Once Comics Cast Superstar before Phil. Well, I hate to tell you, but he canceled on me twice. He was supposed to be on my show first.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
No, I'm kidding. Gerald's a great guy. Fantastic show, Comics Cast. Feel free to drop links. By the way, Gerald or Rick, can you do me a favor? Can you please drop the link to Chad's Kickstarter in the chat? I can do it, and I did, but it doesn't pop up on my main page in Facebook. It pops on my CreatorCon page, and I get more views on this page. Yes, I know you've had him twice, but I was turned down. He canceled me twice. You know what it is he was nervous to come on such an amazing show, like high-profile shows, so he had to warm up, it's something that doesn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah, dang, his name all of a sudden escaped me. Who's the guy that's thinking colors for Jim Lee?
Alex Sinclair?
No, or
colors for Jim Lee?
He was on your show.
Alex Sinclair.
Yeah, he was on your show.
Yeah.
So I was gonna make the comment. Yeah, like they don't have those guys on their show. So I mean, I had to come on this show. You know what I mean? Like,
man, I turned both of you in one shot. Oh,
I had to do it, not for Gerald. Gerald, I love. It's Rick that really gives me a hard time. So I had to definitely fire that back at him. So
I'm going to say this publicly. Sometimes Rick comes across a little like ornery. He is a sweetheart of a guy.
he is, yeah.
He's a great guy. So don't let the ornery side of him fool you. I mean,
yeah,
he probably doesn't have a lot of patience with people, but he is a good guy.
yeah,
Rick's a good guy.
He would probably hate for me to say this, both of them, but after the show, they both sent me really nice notes, and they were, especially Rick, even though he gave me a hard time on the show, like afterwards, you could really tell that the real person, you know what I mean, just came out, and they're both awesome. Sorry, I'll stop being nice to you, Rick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's true. I know it. I've had conversations with Rick on the side, and he's a good guy. And Gerald, of course, is a really great guy. He's a marshmallow of a man, and I don't mean that as in fortitude. I mean that as in how kind he is.
Yes.
So enough about those jokers. We're here about you. So you make this decision. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go for the gold. I'm gonna make my passion, my love, my living.
Yeah.
Tell us about your thought process and that conversation that you have to have with your family.
Yeah. So that was something I thought off and on about for a long time. So after high school, I did go to art school. I went to the Ontario College of Art and Design in Toronto. And during that time, my dad died, and that really changed the course of my life. Really, up to that point, I didn't really think about like big issues or anything like that. But that really did a number on me. So I didn't, after college, I didn't really follow up with art so much. And thanks, Gerald. And so I ended up actually going to seminary and getting a theology degree and all that. And I actually didn't do art for about 10 years. I kind of put it away. And was after about 10 years, I started getting back into it. I really missed it. Like I really feel like I have a gift or something, something special that I can serve other people with. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I really need to devote my life more to this. And so the more that as the years passed on, I did have this idea that I come up with in middle school and college or high school for these comic book characters. And it was, it's like your typical high school superheroes. They were called the Silent Knights. They were very much influenced by the 90s, very kind of superficial, all that kind of stuff. But in college, they took a very more philosophical turn. And when I got back to it those many years later, I took this same like seed of ideas that I had back then and just made them more philosophical and grown up a little bit, I guess you could say. So I started doing comic books more.
Wait, hang on. You're a grown-up? You don't belong on this show. Yeah, sorry, we don't have grown-ups here. Just look at the chat room and just look at me. We don't have grown-ups here. Sorry. I think you're in the wrong area.
Kid at heart. Sorry. It was just something I just kept thinking about and got really back into comic books and really devoted my time to developing these characters. But the whole time, get some sleep. Popping shit. Okay, yeah, he's on his way.
Get some sleep, especially beauty sleep. You need it.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, I was doing that on the side and started doing conventions and those kind of things. But I also had a job. I got married. I had kids. I had responsibilities and those kind of things. And I went ahead and made the first book. I did a Kickstarter for that book. It did really well. And then I got a promotion. And, this promotion at work, it literally came down to, and I sit back and I think about this one moment in the interview. I was being interviewed to be a general manager of a restaurant. I had worked in restaurants since college. It was kind of my daytime job. And I remember the area director saying to me, he's like, sometimes you have to give up on your dreams in order to support your family. It was basically like that, paraphrase. And the more I thought about it,
that doesn't sound like a good company to work for.
Well, yeah. So at the time, as he was saying, there was a split moment where I almost got up from the table, but I stayed because I thought, I do have a wife and kids. I have responsibility. This is a really well-paying job. it could lead to opportunities where I could have the financial freedom to do the things that I want. So I took the job, but it was the most miserable couple of years of my life. And I realize now, looking back, I should have gotten up from the table at that moment. And so it took me out of comics for about 3 years. So I lost some momentum there. But
no, you didn't. You got the motivation you needed.
Yes, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And so now I'm 100% sure I know this is what I need to do. And so I still worked, like I worked full time up until July in kitchens. I ended up quitting that job, and I went to fine dining, learning how to cook and that stuff, which I loved. And it scratched that creative itch, but it didn't satisfy it. And so over time, I just realized, we've got to figure out a way that I could do this full time, and that the opportunity opened up, the door opened up. And so we jumped on it. So in talking with my wife, it wasn't really difficult. She was more concerned because I had struggled with doing freelance and doing stuff before, because I just want to do my book. I want to do the silence. But the reality is, you also need to do your art for other people. And I realized I was thinking incorrectly about it. I was thinking about it too selfishly. I was thinking like, I want to do my own thing. But if you have the gift to draw, that's a perfect opportunity to serve other people. And so I thought, I really need to put myself in a position where I can do art for others to bless others, but at the same time be able to still work on mine. And so now I'm in that position, and it's amazing. So that's how that went. My wife is like, she's the perfect woman for me. I mean, she's perfect in general. I call her Mary Poppins. It's like she just came down from the sky, because she's so like, we have very different personalities. I'm more like introverted, melancholy. She's more like extroverted and like positive. So like, I'm always like, man, this sucks. And she's like, yeah, but what about this? I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
That's fantastic when you have that positive support system. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So that conversation wasn't really that difficult for us. Like she was very supportive, and she always lets me try things. She's very like, stays the course, does the same thing. Whereas I'm like, well, I'll try this. How about this? I'll, whatever. And she's always like, do whatever you want, well, as long as we're not making dumb decisions, let's do it. So, so it was very strategic in what we did as far as me quitting my job. She has a really nice, stable job. She has insurance, those kind of things. We don't have any like extended debt or anything. And we've got a little bit of savings. So it was a good move, I think. A good time for that move. So
what was the feeling like, the liberating feeling of making that decision, quitting your job, that last day going, I'm gone, or whatever? Because how many of us want that? How many of us would kill for that?
It was amazing. I mean, like building up to that last week, and I really wanted to end strong. Like I wanted to have a good relationship just in case I needed to go back or whatever. So, I worked up to my last day. I worked really hard, and I'm still friends with all those guys. Still friends with Chef, and I love those guys. They're awesome. But every day I was like, man, I cannot wait to where I don't have to go in. I can stay at home.
It was like 2 weeks notice, and the 2 weeks was hell, right? It was like the longest freaking 2 weeks of your life.
I actually gave a month's notice because I wanted them to know, like, I'm going to leave and you need some time. Because right now the restaurant industry as a whole is like really struggling to find workers. So I was like, I'll give them a month so they can try and find a replacement.
Which is kind of you. But that must have been the most painful, long, drawn-out month of your life.
It was. I tried not to think about it. I just was like, just go in for your shift, work your shift, go home. At some point, this will be over. And so that's what I did. And that last day was sweet. It was really sweet. So.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thanks, man.
First, I just want to remind everybody, below you'll see the link, where you can find Chad on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. It's pretty simple. The Silence Comics will find him. Silence Arts. Type in Chud Nuss. You will find him. It's not very hard. And Chad's been a big supporter of other people, so let's give a little love back. So now you have to put it, you're going to do this full time. I don't know what infrastructure you already had in place and what is new per se, but obviously you have a website, you have a Patreon, And we're going to look at those things and then get into your Kickstarter campaign, of course, which is big. It's going on right now. I pledged on the
Yes, you
Silence
did.
1
Appreciate it.
and 2.
Thank you. Yes.
I mean, I try to support people as much as possible, especially if it's something I'm interested in. I was interested in the first book, but unfortunately, it was at a time where I just didn't have the means. So I tried to share it out and stuff, and I figured with the second campaign, I could go back and get both. So I had intended to support it ever since I saw it. That hardcover, the red and blue with the red cover and it was just gorgeous. By the way, nice. Aesthetics are important, and your packaging of your product has been great. And then I look at your pencils, and I'm like, wow, this guy's really good. So as long as you don't write crappy, we're all good.
I hope not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I'm just teasing you. I know it's gonna be great. So you want to look at the website first?
Sure, that'd be great.
Just take me a second to pull this bad boy up.
Yeah, there's actually two. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just want to say it's thesilencearts.com. So we're going to put this up here.
Yeah, there's also thesilencecomics.com. So the Silence Comics are where all the comic book stuff is, but eventually it will transition to the Silence Arts.
All right. Did you give me that link? I have, because you gave me a ton of stuff, so I'll take a look and see if it's there. We can.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's just thesilencecomics.com.
Oh, you have comic. Oh, you didn't put them in yet. You got the comic book link here.
Yeah, I didn't put them in yet. This is about 90% finished. I wanted to put it up there so that people have access to the commission page and just the other stuff that I've put on there so far.
So you have several tabs on the bottom, which I think are great. You got gallery, current projects, comic books, illustrations, original art, commissions, store, Patreon, and contacts. You got everything going on here, which is great. It's a nice central hub. Aesthetics are nice. I mean, it's really important to make things easy for people because people don't want to be fishing all over the place. They want to point and click, and that's it.
Yep.
Now, are any of these tabs active yet, or you? Oh, there we go. Gallery.
If you scroll, even if you go back to the home page and you scroll down, if you go back up to the top there and hit the Silence Arts, on the list there, it'll bring you back to the homepage, and I'll scroll down, and it will.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's looking weird on you. Oh, there it goes.
It's jumping right now. Okay, it was loading up.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah. So there's a little gallery, and then if you keep scrolling, there'll be current projects. That'll be more of a blog, which I haven't done that yet. And then this is a commission page with a form that you can fill out. That'll be sent to me.
Now, commissions, you had said you're not available till September, but then at that point, people can fill this out to get commissions. And tell me about, I actually think your approach is really cool because I understand where you're coming from. Tell them what you were telling me about getting commissions of other people's characters.
Yeah, so I really personally, I just struggle with like making money off of other people's characters, even if it's like big characters. Like I understand people do it all the time. It's not about anyone else. It's just my personal, how I feel about it. So I thought I still want to do it because I know a lot of people love like asking their favorite artist, hey, can you draw me Batman or whatever? So I still want to do that, but I want to do it in a way that still honors that company but also serves other people. So the way I'm doing it is if you ask for a commission, I'm happy to do it, but they're complimentary. So that means if you ask me to do, like, let's say you ask me to draw a picture of Batman, I'll quote you a price, and then that price you'll use to support the Silence. So that either means buying the books in that amount or buying prints, and I'll have all kinds of merchandise that you can get. So really what I'm asking you to do is, yes, I'm willing to do a drawing for you of a licensed character, but I really want you to invest in the Silence. And I think that just really makes everyone happy. It makes me happy.
Well, they're getting a free piece of art for and then buying whatever swag or books, right? So I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yep, absolutely. So,
by the way, Ken says hello again. What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks for coming out. So it's great. You put your name, which is required, email, which is required, phone number is optional, and then describe your project. What is it you're looking for? Yep. And I'm going to tell everybody. As an art rep, I get a lot of requests, and people don't think things through. what size is it? 9 by 12, sketch cover, 11 by 17. Do you want it just penciled? Do you want it inked? Is it a full character? Is it more than one character? Do you want backgrounds? So when you describe your project, please be detailed and let him know what you want, because then otherwise there's a lot of back and forth about, all these questions. So just think those things through.
Yep.
Let's not make Chad go crazy.
And in the description above, I even say like that how much I charge for it depends on all of that. So like, if you're just wanting a headshot out of pencil, it's not going to be as much as if someone wants a full 11 by 17 full figure pen and ink, so all of those details are really helpful for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, again, people don't realize that stuff and they need to. And it just makes things smoother too. And there's no mistakes, and you get what you want and you get the right price. There's no mistake in charging and stuff.
Yep.
So, sorry, I got an important message. I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
Always. All right. So we got the current projects. We got just to show, like, when you hit the tabs, I just want to give an idea. Obviously, like you said, this isn't completed yet. Things will be completed, but comic books. Look at that.
Hey guys, my name is Chud Nuss. I am the creator of the sci-fi comic book series called The Silence, and I wanted to invite you to a Kickstarter starting in August for Book 2. If you've never seen my work, here's a sample, and I hope to see you then.
That's nice. I mean, the details in your backgrounds, your city, these futuristic and otherworldly cities is phenomenal. Great job.
Hey, thank you.
Who lettered the book, by the way?
It's funny. I'm sure we'll talk about things that we want to change. I lettered the first book, and the lettering is horrible. So the second book will be much better. I've learned a few lessons since then. So that's the one thing that I am not happy about with the first book. But the second book I've already started lettering it, and it's turning out a lot better. So
very cool. Well, that's the other thing is sometimes people can be critical of a first book. It's a first book. I mean, whether it's you doing it all yourself or working with another artist, you got to kind of gel and get to know each other, and you always, everybody gets better as they go along.
Yes, for sure.
Alfred Pennyworth said it was a great idea to promote your work. Steve said, wow, really nice stuff. I want to be a Chad when I grow up. Very inspiring, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
Terry,
you.
how are you? I hope you're doing well. You're almost there, almost done with treatments. God bless you. I wish you well. I say prayers for you all the time. Just stay strong. Keep going. You're almost done. Wishing you the best of health. And she said the artwork is beautiful.
Thank you.
So we did the commissions page, and we have a store. Is the store set up through here or no?
Yeah, some of it is in there. So you'll see the books are set up already.
Tell us about this real quick, the 3 owners, because some of the art you sent me, the detail in the line work was just killer.
Yeah. So we can look at the artwork later. It's not on this page, but right. So this book, this is another part of what I hope to do is for freelances, book illustration, those kind of things. And this was a project that came my way through a friend of mine. He had this story that he wrote, and he wanted me to do the illustrations for it. And it's kind of a symbolic parable type story called The Three Golden Ropes, as you see there. And it's a story of this traveler. You see him there looking down into this pit, and he goes into the forest, and there's 3 pits. And each one of the pits, there's someone down there, and he wants to go rescue them. So he goes and finds this cottage in the woods to get these ropes to get him out. And there's a wizard in this cottage that gives him magic ropes. And these ropes turn into whatever the person is feeling inside that pit. And so you kind of find out what their fear is and whether they get out or not in the story. So.
Well, that sounds pretty interesting. And, in a world where things are just getting regurgitated, it's great that people are getting more creative,
Yeah, for
And
sure. Yeah.
we're about to show how creative you are because we're going to get into the silence in a minute. But 6x9 hardcover, I was going to ask you too about what made you go with 6x9. It's, it's an interesting size. It's not a typical size book. So, but I also just want to show some things, shirts, and you've got the page here. We can some of the
Yeah.
art
So
that
these
you
will
do.
be, yeah, these will be prints that people can purchase at some point.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. Are you selling the original art to the silence, or is that yours to keep?
That'll be, yes. So under the original art tab, or I'll put it in the store as well. Yes, I'll be selling the pencils and the inks and all that. So that's not up yet on the original art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I mean, it's mostly completed, but please go check out the silencearts.com. And as you can see, there's tabs there to where you can go for Instagram and Facebook. You have share tabs if you like to share it out. Listen, the hardest thing for indie people, believe it or not, is growing a following, which is marketing, promoting, getting out there. So as much as obviously we could use your support financially, if you can't do that, the best thing you can do is share it out, tell your friends. Maybe you're not into sci-fi, but your friend is. Tell your friend, or if you know a sci-fi group and you just throw up a post. Those things are so invaluable to creators we don't have a distribution deal. We don't have a marketing team. We don't have, we're not in the latest ad for something. So please just keep that in mind, guys, and let's help out. Do you want to go straight to the Kickstarter? You want to go to the Patreon page?
We can do either. I think, yeah, either one's good.
Let's do Patreon first, and then we'll go strong with the Instagram. I'm losing it with the Kickstarter.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, I don't get much sleep, and yet I stay so damn good looking. Go figure. I'm sharp as a Q-tip, though. That's Amazon. Yeah, you sent a lot of stuff, my friend. This is great because a lot of people they don't send me anything. I'm like, well, I kind of want to do some research. Could you give me something here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. And we're gonna add to the stream. Don't cross the streams. Okay. Chud Nuss is creating art illustrations and comic books. Select the membership level. So, you talk us through and tell us what these levels are. What do you get for $5 a month?
Sure. So I went ahead and just did one level. So it's only $5 a month. The reason why I did that, two reasons was, number one, I wanted to make it affordable for everyone. And one of those things that, it's $5. Everyone has $5 is, not a big deal. And I wanted to give a lot of content for that $5. And the other reason why is there is someone that I support on Patreon, and she is incredible. She has over 1 million followers. And the level of work that she puts out for people, it just showed what a blessing it was to have that much value for only $5. And she only does a $5 per month as well. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to follow in her footsteps and do that same thing. And just give people the option. If you want to see some behind the scenes content, then this is what you'll get. So for $5, you'll get process videos, you'll get time-lapse videos, you'll get an artwork of the month where I'll go through and talk about how I approach it. So like right now I'm doing a digital painting of a flower, these flower arrangement. And so I post those on Facebook a lot, but now what I'm gonna do is just post the picture. If you wanna see the process behind it, then you have to go on Patreon. And so what I'll do is talk about how I selected the color and the technique and how I painted the glass the way I did and all those things that for people that are wanting to get an inside look at how the art is created, then that's where you'll go. And it'll be the same for everything. And not just digital painting, but it'll also be the comic book stuff, where I just actually posted one today where I talked about the most recent page I finished, my process, my thoughts, my strategy, why I chose the angles and the pencil techniques and all of that. So you get all that. And then each month everyone gets a digital print of the artwork of the month sent to them, and then one patron is chosen to get a piece of original art. So
Nice.
lots of, you get a lot out of it just for, a small investment. And
Well, think about this: $5 a month, guys. If you went and got a Starbucks coffee every day, that's $8 a day.
yes,
It's $40 a week for a diuretic and a poop maker. So, I mean, $5, you can enjoy art, the behind the scenes and the process of things. If you're an aspiring artist and creator, you can get insight into world building and things like that. I mean, Chad, his book, there are multiple different planets and systems and, casts. So, I mean, that's world building at its best,
Absolutely.
Right, so you get a little bit about Chad and his prior, vigilante job. He used to fight crime. And of course, because I am not at this point a Patreon member, I don't get to see a damn thing. Do you want to see the video, or should I play it? Or
it's just a real quick. Yeah, I mean, if you want to play, it's only like a minute, I think.
So this is my very first Patreon post. I'm very excited and very thankful that you've decided to check out my page, and hope that you like what you see. I do plan on putting out a lot of content, everything from my comic book work on the Silence, to my abstract work with my diagrammatics and my Sanctorum Animi mural, to my pen and ink drawings, pencil drawings, acrylic paintings, conceptual art, to my digital paintings. So there'll be a variety of artwork on this channel, a variety of approaches and strategies and content for you to check out. I'm hoping to put out some tutorial videos as well, and putting artwork in my patrons' hands, as well as digital prints and original artwork. So I really hope you take the time to look around. I would love for you to invest in me and my artwork, and I hope to put a lot of content in your hands as a thank you to you for your investment. So if you have any questions, please contact me. Otherwise, I will see you on another video soon.
cool. So look at that. There was a tab that says join right there, guys. Nice tab. Just go to patreon.com/Chad Nuss. Hit join. It's $5, guys. Give it a try. What's the harm of giving it a try? $5.
That's right.
I mean, if you smoke, you're spending what? $20 a day smoking a pack of cigarettes and killing yourself while you're at it. So come on. No excuses. Don't want to hear it. Anyway. Damn it, do it. Or I'll find you. All right. So, I mean, first of all, it seems like you have a great infrastructure put into place. You have a good head on your shoulders. You're a really talented artist. Obviously, you're creating these amazing worlds, but you also seem to have a good sense of marketing, promotion, etc. I mean, where do you see yourself in 5 years doing this?
That's a great question, but when I sit there and think about, obviously doing the Silence, I see myself doing that for years and years and years. So I really want that to become, I don't know, like an epic type story kind of world. Like, I'm not going to say like Star Wars or anything, because that's on a whole nother level, but definitely something that grows in momentum. So I'd love to be doing that full time and have quite a following doing that.
So you want people to be dressing up as your characters and
that would be amazing.
And running around cons and even going out to like court dressed up as your characters, right? Because
that would be awesome.
Star Trek fans, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I would love for that to happen. And I don't know. It's very hard to say. I've, not that I'm an old man, but I've lived long enough to know that life is very unpredictable. So I think it's one of those things. I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see my art be in a gallery at some point. I'd love to do some gallery shows and selling prints and that kind of thing. I love my t-shirts, which we didn't talk a whole lot about, but what I'm trying to do with the t-shirts, I want to make t-shirts that make you think. That's my little tagline: t-shirts that make you think. And so I have some conceptual art that I put together, and I want to put them on t-shirts, just because a lot of times I go go out shopping and I don't ever see clothes that I want to wear. So these will be shirts that I think if you like philosophy a little bit, you like kind of thinking about life, I think you'll enjoy those shirts. So
that's why you're always topless. You never find the clothes you want.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, just multiple streams. I'm trying to invest in multiple ways of gaining income. And so if any of those could be successful, I'd be happy. So
Terry says she loves all the original art behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is all from book 1. So those are most of those are original. Some of those I've sold and they're reproductions, but yeah, that's all the art from the first book.
So let me ask you something. We all who take this journey, we have those moments of self-doubt, lack of motivation, wondering if we're just climbing up a hill with a boulder on our back and we're just not going to make it, right?
Yes.
When you feel those moments, what do you do to get motivated again and get out of that? Say, you know what? Stop being foolish. I've got this ahead of me. Let's go.
Yeah, a couple things. The first thing is I struggle with that every day, if I had to be transparent with you. And so the way I wrestle with that is I've written out a schedule for myself. So I know from 8 to 10, I'm doing this, from 10 to 12, I'm doing this, from, whatever. So whenever I get in those moments, those funk moments, I just go back to that schedule and I say, okay, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Because this is obviously not helping. So from 3 to 5, if I'm supposed to be working on this project, I'll just go work on that project. Because usually I get in that when I start thinking bigger, when I start thinking, okay, I'm 45, where's my life compared to other people? You start doing all that stuff, and that's, for me, goes down a rabbit hole that is really bad. So
the worst thing you can do is compare yourself to somebody else's journey.
Yep,
it's not yours. It's not yours. It's theirs. You have your own. Absolutely. And never look at your age as a factor. Harrison Ford was 39 and he was a carpenter on a set of Star Wars. If you look, his career really didn't start until he was close to his 50s. I mean, stop.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
even do
That's absolutely right. Yep.
Don't even do it. You have enough adversity in life to have to make yourself another adversary.
That's right. So so that's a practical thing that I learned. And then the second thing, a very wise man once told me that everyone wrestles with this, but some people more than others, and I wrestle with it, is that you have this inner critic. And this inner critic, you have to shut that voice down, because you have to ask yourself the question, like, who else is in the room? If there's no one else in the room, and that's you telling yourself that you have to shut that down. So I've over the years have learned to kind of hear when that voice is starting to rise up and know, like, that those are all lies. I just need to not listen to that and get back to my schedule and just keep plowing through. And usually on the other side of that, there are other times where you're very encouraged and excited and exhilarated, and you're start thinking creatively about things you want to do. And so I wrestle with that every day. I mean, I do. So I have to do those things. So
Terry says the inner critic is tough. Look, the fact of the matter is, no one is harder on you and more of a critic on you than yourself.
Yep, that's
but it's a double-edged sword, though, because that critic can at times be helpful, because that inner voice is what makes you aspire to be a better person tomorrow, a better creator tomorrow than you were today.
Yep.
But when that voice starts to become a weight, that's when you have to let it go.
I think there's a big difference between when you're looking at, like, for me, if I'm looking at something I've drawn and I see that there's something off, that's where the inner critic is really helpful, because it's willing to say, look, this is not as good as it could be. That's different. That's different than when the inner critic starts tearing you down and saying, like, you're not good enough as a person, you're failing, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'd like anyone else that, I've been through my midlife crisis where I literally was like, man, I've ruined my life. What am I doing? This is not what I thought I would be when I'm in my 40s, all that. But that's when I had to really start reevaluating, like, that you can't listen to that voice. I mean, it's like you said, sometimes it's helpful, but when it starts tearing you down, that's when it's not good. So,
and another important way to get rid of that critic is short-term goals that will lead to long-term achievement.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
stop daydreaming 20 miles away because no, you're nowhere near there yet.
Yep.
But you can look at 10 feet in front of you, and as you keep looking 10 feet in front of you, before you know it, you've traveled 500 feet.
Yep.
You know, it keeps your focus. It keeps you maintained. Terry said she's our own worst enemy, and I know we all are. I'm going to get to Greg's question in a minute. Terry wants to know, do you have to read the first book to read the second book? I would imagine you do, right?
It would be helpful, yeah, because the second scene in the second book picks up where the first book left off. So there might be a bit of confusion and the significance of some of the characters and what they're doing. So I would recommend it, but I don't want to sound like a salesperson, like, go get the first book too. But
all right, Chad, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to explain something to you.
All right.
You need to listen to this.
Okay.
I don't like solicitation either. I feel bad that I solicit my book a lot, but here's the reality. Who else is going to do it?
Yeah, you're right.
You can't worry about aggravating people. If they don't want to hear it, they'll tune it out. But there's people that do want to hear it. Yes. If you believe in your product and you believe in your talent, then you won't feel like you're annoying people. You'll feel like you're bringing them into your world. Yeah. You have to promote, or you're not going to succeed. Because you could be the best artist in the world, and if nobody knows you're there, who cares? So get rid of that crap right now.
All right, well, go get the first book. You can't read the second book without the first book.
Thank you. And you are telling the truth, though. It's not like you're trying to scam anybody. Yeah. There's a difference between being a used car salesman and trying to promote your live stream. There is a difference, and you have to get that, Chad. I'm telling you, I don't mean to talk down to you or condescending in any means.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Because I struggle with that, too. I even still apologize sometimes for beating people over the head with what I'm doing. But you know what? Yeah. They're not coming to my show if I don't. They don't know it's there, so
that's
we have to.
Yeah.
So,
that's right. Yeah.
Well, Terry, we're about to show you how to get it. So hang on to that. But before we go into the Kickstarter, Greg has a fantastic question that I was actually going to ask you. So Greg read my mind. Great minds read alike, think alike.
Awesome.
Greg's a great dude. I met him for the first time this past weekend at a show, and he's a really cool dude. And I remember your friend's name. It's Ed. Yes, I remembered. Mm-hmm. I'm so bad with names. So Greg asked, how much influence does your theology major play a part in your writing? Because you said there is a lot of philosophical content, but on a fun level, of course, not a boring level, in your books.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the way I would answer that is to say that whoever is writing, it doesn't have to be me, but whoever's writing, theology and philosophy and worldview absolutely influence everything that you write. So you can't get away from it. So for me in particular, when you see the book, you'll see what I'm talking about because, and we'll talk about this here in a minute, the setting of the book is called the prolegomenon system, which is a big fancy word for the first philosophical move you make. It's basically you're thinking about how you think. And each one of there's 12 planets in the system. Each one of the planets is, number one, named after one of the tribes of Israel from the Old Testament. And number two, represents a different philosophy. So there's one planet represents nihilism, one's existentialism, one's atheism, one's polytheism. So, I've spent many years studying all of that. So it definitely comes out in my writing. And I take the approach of like C.S. Lewis or Tolkien, where when you read their work, it's this beautiful work of art, but it's driven by theology. And if you know that they were Catholic and Anglican, you would immediately see, oh, the lion, oh, that's a picture of Christ. And oh, the ring, it's a picture of truth. And, there's so many allusions to theology and philosophy in their work. And it's the same thing in mine. I didn't see what that last.
She said Terry said she has a minor in theology. This really interests her. I want to make this clear too, just from discussing things with Chad and looking at things and getting to see a little behind the scenes that you haven't. Don't be scared off by the idea of theology, because like he said, like Lord of the Rings and C.W. Lewis, right? C.W. is C.S. Sorry,
C.S. Lewis,
which is like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and things like that.
Yep.
It's not so overt that you feel like you're beating over the head with what to believe. It's simply it's metaphorical, it's symbolic, but it's just great storytelling based on these based on theological representation. So I don't want anybody to think that you're gonna pick up this book and I'm getting preached to and I'm being beat over the head.
Right.
That's not what this is.
Yeah.
You might have even watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and not even realized what that's based on, and what's going on in there. So I hope you don't mind me injecting that in there, that please don't be scared by that. This is not Chad preaching to you what to believe or beating you over the head with Bible quotes. That's not what this is.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So Terry, you asked, how do we get this book? So it's real simple. We're going to go to the Kickstarter. So many great writers use their Christianity without you knowing it. You're right, Greg. Absolutely true. I mean, look, here's the reality, okay? Whether you believe the Bible stories or you don't believe the Bible stories is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, practically every story is based on something that was written in that book, and the Torah as well. I mean, it is, period. I mean, so to think that, this is Bible stuff, everything comes from that. Good versus evil, righteousness, right versus wrong, morality. I mean, hello, it all comes from there. So, absolutely, Greg, I agree with you. So, somebody please drop the Kickstarter link in the chat. Like I said, if I do, it's only going to come through on my CreatorCon page. For some reason, I don't know why Livestream's doing this to me. I wanted to come out on my Facebook page. That's where I get the most of my viewers. So please grab the link and put it in the chat to help Chad out. So here is The Silence 2. It is the sequel. It's the second part of an ongoing series. And this is the Kickstarter. And this is where you can get it. Now, Chad, I know I'm handsome and I'm going to get ratings, but I'm going to block me out here so that we can see. So first of all, congratulations. You met your goal very quickly. Your goal was $1,000 and you're at $1,551. 43 backers. Excellent start with only with 28 days to go. I mean, you just started.
Yes. Yeah. I was really nervous because the first Kickstarter I did back in 2016. And like I had said, it did really well and I had good momentum, but then I was out of the community for several years. So I had no idea how this was gonna go. And with COVID the past year, I haven't been able to do conventions or anything like that. So, I was like, I had no idea what was going to happen. So I'm like amazed how well it's doing so far. So yeah, it's awesome.
Well, again, I mean, you're putting out a great product, at least aesthetically so far, and comics is an aesthetic medium, and you've already succeeded there. You're doing a beautiful job. Aaron Bess is here. He's an artist, and he always comes in with some crazy ass line. It's really funny. He's the big dog, is what he says. So he said, "Oh, why did that happen? Care about no damn dog catcher. I'm in this mother." So Aaron Bess is present. What's going on, Aaron? Jason Meadows, thank you so much. As usual, you are a reliable man. He put the link in for you in the chat. Jason Meadows, of course, from Knuckles Up Studios. That is the Tales from Nerosville that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Sorry, Chad. I just like to help everybody.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So let's play the trailer real quick. It's a 5-minute trailer, but we're going to play this unless you'd rather just tell us instead.
No, go for it.
All right, we're going to play this trailer for you guys, and then we'll get into the rewards and the stretch goals and showing some pages and all that good stuff.
Welcome to the Kickstarter for The Silence 2. My name is Chud Nuss. I am the creator, author, and artist for the comic book sci-fi series called The Silence. I'm also a co-host with the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, where we talk about comic book news and events. And I started my own freelance business called The Silence Arts. Several years ago, I launched my sci-fi comic book series, The Silence, with a successful Kickstarter campaign. And now I'm back with book 2. In this issue, there is tons more world building, character development and story for you to dive into. So I'm super excited for you to check out this page and get your hands on this book. For those of you who are back to support book 2, I just personally wanted to say thank you. And for those of you that have just discovered The Silence, I wanted to give you a bit of a background on the story so you can see what the world is all about. The Silence is a story about two flawed heroes in their search for the meaning of life. They find themselves in a flawed universe. First, on their planet, where they discover everything they've been taught since childhood is turning out to be a lie. And second, in their galaxy or universe, where as they discover each planet in their search for meaning, they are faced with this unnerving silence. I call The Silence a space symphony. It's a long-form story told in 4 movements. And the setting for the story is the Prolegomena system, which is a galaxy cluster of 12 planets. And each one of these planets represents a different worldview or philosophy for the characters to interact with. This may sound deep and heavy and maybe even a bit boring, but it's not. It's philosophical and entertaining, but at the end of the day, it's a work of art and something that is truly beautiful. There are a lot of sci-fi stories out there. Whether you're looking on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or go to your local comic book store, there are tons of books being published from the science fiction genre. So why support this book? Why support The Silence too? Well, I have a variety of influences, everyone from Jim Lee, Will Portacio, Mark Silvestri, and those great 90s image artists, to modern cinema like 2001, Blade Runner, Interstellar, to contemporary artists like Marcel Duchamp and Max Ernst and Sol LeWitt. So what I'm trying to do with this book is more than just give you traditional comic book storytelling. I'm trying to create a story and a work of art that is both entertaining, beautiful, and intensely deep and philosophical. The Silence 2 is a different book. It begins with an extended prologue that goes into a lot of the world building and background information and character development of the story. It continues with a section of traditional comic book format, and then ends with a section of poetry and appendices. Now, don't be thrown off by the poetry. I know poetry is not for everyone, but I include an appendix that gives an explanation and an interpretation of the poem, which just adds another layer to the storytelling of this book. This Kickstarter campaign is simple and straightforward. The main focus of this campaign is the book itself. There will be different reward levels and incentives, but at the end of the day, I just want you to get this book in your hands. The book comes in a 6x9 hardcover edition with a full color cover and black and white interiors with some additional sketch pages and background information. I'm offering The Silence #1 for those of you who missed the first campaign, as well as some different reward tiers and incentives, some group packages, and for backers, some interesting stretch goals, including some possible Zoom time and Q&A sessions with me. I really want this to be an interactive experience where you have access not only to the book, but to me as a creator as well. I'm really excited about the future for The Silence. As you watch this video, I have about 95% of the book completed and should have it all the way done by the end of the campaign. I've already contacted a printer and have a print schedule ready to go, so as soon as the campaign's over, the book will be in your hands shortly. In July, I was able to quit my job and start a freelance art company, which means I now have time that I can devote solely to the Silence comic book series. I plan on continuing the series for an overarching run of up to 40 issues. So I want to invite you to get on board now, because this will be an exciting run, something to look forward to for years to come. If you like what you see here while you're scanning through the Kickstarter campaign, please check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The Silence Comics, where I post daily updates on this book and other artwork I'm involved in. I'm really excited for you to be involved in this project as we explore the meaning of art and life together.
So Aaron Best said, "Yo, I feel like I'm at orientation. Professional ass video."
Thank you.
There were no asses in that video, Aaron.
I want to. I got to give it a shout out to my friend Jeremy Woodring. He's the one that did the video, and
I was going to ask you the editing and everything and the music. Great.
Yeah, he's doing that as a freelance, trying to help indie creators like myself handle all the video and all that kind of stuff. So he's
very
awesome.
cool. And Aaron said, man, got the paid actors and everything. Steve Garcia, and I agree with this, said there's something in your line work that kind of sort of reminds him of early Barry Windsor Smith style. Love it.
Man, that's an amazing compliment, and I appreciate that.
I can see that. I agree with him, actually. So fantastic. I mean, the video you told us, basically, the premise of the story, but if you want to go into more detail without spoilers, please feel free as we start to look at the page.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, that was a very quick overview, but I'll tell you a little bit about as we're going through. This building right here is one of the main characters, actually, of this particular book. You see it from 3 vantage points. So the first scene, you see it from a street level, as you can see there. These people live in kind of a utopian society where they've been taught that no one ever dies and no one gets sick. And here is a situation where something crashes into this building, and it's very obvious someone has probably died as a result. So they have to wrestle with do people actually die? And so that's one of the central questions, not only of this book, but of their society. And their planet is named Issachar. It represents a worldview of utopia. And you find out very quickly it's actually a dystopia, which I love those kind of sci-fi dystopian type stories. And so this scene right here is very powerful because they're really, this girl has just been talking to her mom about death. It's something she's heard about but has never experienced, and the mom has, because it's only been recently that they've supposedly cured death. And so she's telling her daughter that people don't die anymore, we don't need to talk about that, whatever. And then this explosion happens, and that sets up the story to go on. And so this second page is part of the second scene, where you're up at the upper part of the skyscraper, and that's the second viewpoint in which you see this explosion. This is Naomi, one of the main characters, and Dr. Polaris at the bottom. Dr. Polaris is the one who is kind of in charge of this planet. He's the leader and has been the one that has developed the technology to supposedly cure people of death. The reason why she's doing this to him or firing these lasers at him is because in the first book, this is a bit of a spoiler, but I'll give it to you anyways. In the first book, he apparently had died, and here he shows up, and she's mad because she found out that basically he lied to her. And then it's slowly, his facade of being truthful and caring, it's slowly disintegrating a bit. But anyways, yeah, so her name's Naomi. She's one of the main characters. Lazarus is the other main character. They're both flawed in that she received these treatments from Dr. Polaris in order to see, because she's blind. And so she sees holographic images of what's around her and can create holographic objects that become real. What she doesn't know, and she'll find out probably, I think, at the end of the next issue, or Lazarus will find out, I'm sorry, she won't find out till later, is that these treatments are actually killing her. Lazarus, you'll see in this third page, this double page spread, that's from the first issue where, no, the one that is up a little bit, that one right there. He apparently had died in the first issue as well. And so she's kind of mourning over him in this particular scene. But for him, he has superhuman strength, but he has a breathing problem, so he has to wear this apparatus. And anytime he uses that strength, it breaks the apparatus and puts his life in danger. And so he's constantly wrestling with wanting to protect her, but can't, because anytime he does, he ends up going to the point of death. And so there's this interesting play between the two where, she's blind and almost not helpless, but, is really in a vulnerable position, but he can't help her. And so she ends up saving him more than he does her. So there's an interesting relationship between the two. You don't really find out what their relationship is, and I'm not going to reveal that for right now, but they're the main characters. So that's what you're seeing there is the end of book 1, and that's the beginning of book 2 there. This is the third part of the book. And so like I said in the preview, there's 3 parts. There's a prologue, then there's this traditional storytelling. And at the end, this is one of those pages where on the right-hand side, you have the page, and then on the left-hand side is a poem that's describing what's going on in this page. This is introducing a new characters up in the top of the page, you'll see the panel of that car or hovercraft. And in that hovercraft, there's 3 new characters, and they're called the Naturals. The Naturals are a group of people in the society that have decided not to take the treatments that Dr. Polaris has been offering everyone. They kind of see through the society. So they're that classic, like, they're rebelling against the system, and they know it's all a lie. And so they're kind of taking on the society. The significance of this particular shot is, if you notice, all these people at the bottom, they're all looking ahead. And in the poem, I just describe these people as they're distracted by their technology. They're all enhanced. They all have a mixture of human and robotic
So wait,
parts.
this is America?
Yeah.
This
Might
is
as well just put cell phones in their hands, I guess. But
yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah. And so, they're all heading towards this celebration called Jubilee. And Jubilee happens there. This is the second Jubilee. The first one was where holobiotics is what it's called. This technology of enhancements was announced. They're going to the second one to celebrate this development. And so, it's a society that's very much hypnotized by technology, I guess you could say. And so that's the scene in that. So the third scene you'll see, this is from their relationship again. Sorry, this is Dr. Polaris and Naomi confronting each other. And this is just a poster for the book.
Great detail, man. Nice line work.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So that's a basic overview. The third scene of the Naturals, you'll see at the very end, you see the building from the mountains, from outside the city. So
I don't know if it was on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got rewards and we've got your pledge levels. So the Naturals, you get Silence 1 and 2 hardcover. I pledged for that. First of all, I'm a sucker for hardcover. And I obviously wanted to get Silence 1 and 2. So that is awesome.
As you should, because you need number 1 in order to read number 2.
There you go. All right. Chad is a quick learner. Honestly, but why wouldn't want to? Right? I mean, why wouldn't you want to? I mean, who wants to start a book on chapter 2?
Absolutely.
That's what I always tell everybody. I mean, because the first one is going to introduce you to things. So absolutely. You can pledge just because you believe in it and donate. That always helps. $3 gets you a PDF download. I mean, that's cheap, guys. $3. $6 gets you. You tell me. You tell everybody. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. $6 you get both PDFs of issue 1 and 2. The Patreon perk is one that I really like. You get the book at a discounted price if you sign up for a Patreon and support me through that. So you're not only getting the book, but then you're getting all the art and everything that goes with Patreon. The next level is just the number 2 by itself. If you already have number 1, that's number 2. And then the next one, the Share with a Friend bundle, is I think 3 copies. I forget how many I put in there, but you get 3 copies so that you can share it with a friend. And then the big level, 200, you get a piece of original art. So you get the pencil and ink of one of the pages from the book. And then the very last one, I kind of messed up a little bit because the very last one, I wanted to do the highest bidder. But what happened was 2 people bid the same amount. And so I was like, well, I don't want to tell one person like, hey, I'm going to pick you over the other person or raise it by $1. So I just said, it's fine. I'll do 2 commissions and we'll be done with it. So, yeah.
Terry says she's in for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
So as far as the rewards, tell us about some of the stretch goals and the rewards and things that we can get as this progresses and, incentivize people to spend money.
Yeah, so it's funny that you would ask me that because I don't do a whole lot of rewards. It's mainly just the book. And the reason why I took that perspective or that approach is because on my first Kickstarter, I did a ton of like prints and all that kind of stuff. And it just was impossible to keep track of, number 1. And then also when I support Kickstarters, and I get all the stuff, I really just want the book. And so I
Right.
kept it very, very conservative. I'm just doing the book. That's why the goal is a little bit less than my other goal was, as far as just doing the $1,000, because that'll cover the printing and all the expenses. But as far as the stretch goals go, I'm going to do different levels. So the first one is going to be like a meet and greet where you can Zoom with me as a group, and we can just talk about the book. If you have any questions or anything that, I'd just love to find out who everyone is. And if they have any questions for me, I'd love to just do kind of a meet and greet. Then the second one, I thought about doing like just have a random group of people, depending on how many backers we have, maybe, I don't know, a dozen or so, and just create characters out of them that will appear in future books. The third one I might change because it's a lot like the first one. The third one was more like a one-on-one Zoom meeting, but I might change that. And then the fourth one is to go back and color one of the books, hire a colorist. So if we get to that level, I'll have the money to be able to pay someone to color it.
And what's the level to get to for the colorist?
I don't know. I'll figure that out. Right now, I'm just happy that we reached the goal. So,
well, and I don't mean to solicit, but I rep a lot of guys, and a lot of them are very affordable. So I could tell you what it would cost. Yeah. So even if you don't go with me, I could tell you what it would cost for a solid colorist, so you would know what you'd have to reach. Yeah,
that'd be really helpful. And as we keep going with this campaign, and I know in the middle there's usually a lull, but I mean, if it continues with this momentum, then we'll definitely be talking about that for sure.
Just so you know, Jason said he backed it. He had to do the PDFs because he's Poe.
No problem.
But awesome. It looks like you'll have two backers, Terry and Jason, come out of here, and
awesome.
Hopefully more. Look, we're going to continue talking about this and Chad and what he's doing, what's going on. But I say this all the time. I just want to make it clear. We all complain about Marvel and DC and they're regurgitating stuff, or they're ruining the comics, or the writing sucks, or the art sucks. And we complain, but we continue to put $5 every week into each book that we buy in hopes that it gets better. The indie community is providing you with passion, heart, really trying to think outside the box. There are a lot of books like this that aren't just regurgitated crap. And if you want the indie community to thrive, if you want creators to continue, we have to invest money into this industry, in this section, this part of the industry. It's just a fact. That means supporting Kickstarters. Even if it's just a PDF, you've got to throw money into it. And I'm not saying this to push you to buy stuff you don't want. That's not what I'm saying. If you're on the fence, if you're interested in something but you're like, oh, I don't know about the money. I know this is going to sound messed up, but maybe that week you sacrifice 2 cups of $8 coffee at a pretentious Starbucks that makes millions of dollars and just go back a book, for somebody.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're helping somebody's dream come true, and that karma comes back to you. Maybe those people back you. It's a community. You can build so much together, and it only takes one person to rip it down. So all I'm going to say is, if you seem interested in this book, or if you know somebody that is, please don't sit on the fence. Don't wait till the end of the campaign, because that is very nerve-wracking for creators. Also, if people see a Kickstarter isn't like booming, sometimes for some reason psychologically they're like, oh, maybe I'll wait. Don't. Support now. There's 28 days. That doesn't mean wait 28 days. Your money is not collected until after it's over. Period. It's not collected until it's over. So there's no reason why you can't throw down a pledge right now. And you can up the pledge if you decide to later. So guys, please don't hesitate. Hit the green button up above, and back this campaign. Anything, even if you want to donate $5 because you just want to help and believe in. I mean, charity is a beautiful thing. So, and I'm just putting it out there because if we want the indie scene to get bigger, we have to invest in it. We have to. Greg Johnson said it was such a cool feeling to pledge and be the lucky one that made it hit its goal. Yes, I remember seeing that in the post. Yeah. And you know what, Greg? You suck because I was going to do that and you beat me, but whatever. Greg's a good guy. He's a really good guy. And again, all these pledges, they're not expensive. They're not a lot of money. They're not at all. You know, I mean, it's very affordable. We piss away money on a lot crazier, stupid stuff. You know, every Friday you go to the bar and you throw out hundreds of dollars on alcohol just to ruin your liver. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a slacker. You call me a slacker. All right, so first of all, the detail in the art is phenomenal. I mean, just for the art alone, guys, you know. So, but I have a few questions for you, specifically your style and everything, but and how you come about things, but your process, but obviously pertaining to the silence. So, first of all, what is your approach, being that you are the writer and the artist? Do you write out a draft? Do you write out a full script? Do you write out an outline and then just start drawing? I mean, do you do step by step? Are you doing both as you go along?
Yeah, it's kind of I guess you would say the Marvel way, where I kind of know where the book is going. I usually write it first, or I'm sorry, I usually draw it first, and then when I'm about 75 or 80% of the way through the book, then I'll start going back and starting to like detail out what I'm gonna actually say. Sometimes I'll have a panel that I draw and I think these words will go here. That'll happen in the middle of what I'm doing. So yeah, I don't write it out beforehand. I outline it, and then I'll do thumbnails, so I kind of know where everything's going. I know how the book starts and I know how it ends. Everything in between sometimes gets shifted a little bit, but yeah, I know where it's going. So like, for example, I've got 2 more pages to draw, but they're not written yet. And I'll have those written as soon as I draw them. So it's kind of a both, especially towards the end. So
do you
yeah,
ever,
that's
do you ever have like really productive meetings between the writer and artist, or do you like do you have a lot of arguments? Or
yeah, all the time. Yeah, we're always sitting there thinking about what's the next thing going to be. So like I've already started thinking about issue 3. I already know what the first scene's going to be. I already know how it's going to end. So I already have that in my mind, kind of a framework, and then it's just a matter of filling in details.
So the artist and the writer are on the same page.
They are.
Look
Yes.
at the pun.
Yes,
look at the
I like
pun.
that. I like that. Yeah.
So what's your approach to world building and character design? Because as you said, there's 12 worlds. Now, obviously, you have the foundation based on theology of where you want the worlds to go, but aesthetically, you have to design suits and buildings. Yes. And just societal norms, and cultures. Yeah. So what is your approach to that?
Yeah, I'm kind of loose with that. Like I know artists will like fill up like sketchbooks of like designs and all that. I'm not really like that. I don't understand how artists function that way, because I just feel like if I'm spending all that time doing all that, I could be working on the stuff I got now. So right. I usually, and I know like, it's who cares? Like no one's ever been to these worlds, so you can do whatever you want. So when I get to that world, then I worry about it. So I know, for example, the next world will be Dan, the planet Dan, and that's dualism. And so what I'm going to do is, once I get closer to that, do some more research on the actual philosophy of dualism, which will then influence how I write those books. I do have a few characters already figured out for that. Like I have one called the Caterpillar King that I'm really looking forward to. I should have shared a picture with you about him, but he's going to be awesome.
If you're able to send it in chat while we're doing the show, I can put it up.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, it's so yeah, I think about that. So like with Dan, if I remember correctly, it's been a little while since I've thought about that, but they're very like legalistic. It's got to be a certain way. They're very harsh. The moon, there's a moon that travels around that planet that the characters are going to land on first, and that's an actual Taoist concentration camp. And there's 2 societies that are on there that are warring against each other, but in a symbiotic, I guess you could say, that's a big fancy word for, basically they both need each other to survive on this moon. And so they land in the midst of that, and they get in a lot of trouble. So I've already thought about all that kind of stuff. And then when they get to the planet, I've started thinking of a framework of how the stories are going to function. But it's helpful for me to know when they go to this planet, this is the worldview, because then that helps me structure the story and the characters, and helps me design how they're going to think, and those kind of things. So I know with like dualism, there's a lot of discussion between the body and the spirit. So I know that will influence their politics, their relationships, their economy, how the society functions as a whole, and then I'll play off that. And so it'll be a thing where I'll talk about like, is there a separation between that and all, you know, that kind of thing. And I'll use that as a means of not only for the reader, it kind of breaks that fourth wall, right? So like the characters are wrestling with those things, but the reader is as well. So they're entering into this world and they're being forced to ask those same kind of questions. So it's not really, like you said before, it's not really preaching at you. It's more like forcing you to think and really asking those questions. Like when you watch Matrix, like that was a beautiful thing about that movie, is that it was like this high sci-fi and you had all this philosophy and religion all tied together in this like aesthetically beautiful movie. And I love the scene where Neo is talking with the architect, and the architect's going off on this whole philosophical rant that if you don't know anything about what he's saying, it is just like mind-boggling. But that's what I love. It's entertaining and beautiful and engaging as well. And that's what I'm trying to do with this book too. So that's kind of my approach. I have a framework. I know what the philosophy of worldview is that they're operating in, and then that helps me to
see.
flesh out details.
This is right up my alley, just because I'm constantly thinking about how things work, why things work the way they do, how people behave, why they behave the way they do, what, you know, their perception of life, how it affects their response to life. By the way, see Aaron, thanks for coming out. Good luck, Clifford. Free Clifford. He's making a dog joke.
Yeah, I saw someone that their phone was dying, which I hate that for them. So
yeah, Aaron Bess, he's got to go.
Yeah.
Good guy. So, I mean, sometimes I want entertainment that just I can dole out to and just vegetate. But oftentimes I want to think. I want to, you know, I mean, I don't want to be fed what to believe or think. I want it to be presented. You know, and great writers can present situations from different angles so that you may cling to which way you want to go, you know. And having said that, how much of your personality or your belief systems or your opinions is in your characters?
Yeah. I mean, a ton. Like, and people have often asked, like, what character do you most identify with? And I would say every one of the characters has a bit of me in it. I would say, and most people, when they see Dr. Polaris, they think me because of the beard and just the look. And there's a part of me in him, and there's a part of me in Naomi, and there's a part of me in Lazarus. And, you know, it's the same with any author or artist or creator. Like, you're going to show up in your work. It's like when I look at, it's a funny example, it just comes to the top of my head. When I look at Rob Liefeld and I look at his drawings, his characters look like him. And I think that happens with everyone. Like, when you draw or create, it's going to have your
Something
vibe.
of yourself,
you know?
sure.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, so
look, you're right from what you know.
I found that the file, I'm trying to figure out how do I put it in the comments.
No, the picture?
Or,
no. Put it in the messenger like you did for me, Facebook Messenger, and I'll share it on screen.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, I can pull it out right now. This is the Caterpillar King?
Yeah, I'm about to get it. Hold on one second.
You know, I just want to reiterate to everybody, it really sounds interesting, and I'm very serious. And Craig Johnson said, not the feet, laugh out loud. So apparently Rob Liefeld doesn't have feet. No.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot we could say about him, but I was just thinking of every time I look at him, I'm like, you look like your characters look just like you. It's just a weird, it happens, you know, it happens to everyone.
But guys, seriously, come on. Pledge, let's go. Let's see some numbers go up. I'm going to take a look now. We have 2 backers, and you're at 1,592. Awesome. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah, a couple. You have like $40 or something like that. So come on, guys. Come on, think a little bit. What made you go with the 6x9 size?
There it is. I just sent you the picture. Yeah. So the 6x9 size. So I had a friend of mine work for the printer that I got in touch with down in Alabama, And there was a couple different sizes that we're looking at. One of them was actually a 12 by 12, is a large like coffee table book, or
Oh,
that
wow.
6 by 9. Yeah, and that actually I'm gonna do
That is rocking.
when I do the. I'm gonna do each like volumes. So when they're 4 volumes of 10 issues. So when I have the 10 issues done, I'll do it in a larger one. But the 6 by 9.
Should I tease everybody and not show them? I'll just say, wow,
Yeah,
this looks awesome.
don't show them. Yeah, don't show them yet. So no, I like the 6 by 9. I looked at the 8.5 by 11 or the traditional size comic book, but the 6 by 9 was nice because it fit on the shelf. It had a unique look to it. It had that kind of trade paperback look to it, but in a hardback, it's just more formal. I don't know how to say it, but it really fit the mood of the book. I think just the size and doing it hardcover, it looks really nice on the shelf, and it's just, I like aesthetics. So I like not only just the drawings inside, but the way the book looks as well is just beautiful as a hardcover. So
Craig Johnston said, I will hunt you down. Show us. Dude, very serious. Great character design, and the line work is so detailed. It looks really good. Looks really good.
You can go for it. Go for it.
Nah, let him wait a little.
Okay, yeah, we're just
sweat, you bastard. How will you? What a logo? Bastage. That's a sweat, you bastage.
That's right.
All right, let's show him. This is the Caterpillar King. I think this looks badass. I mean, this is so good. And why are you not showing? There you go.
There you go, yeah.
Look at that. Oof, that's so sweet. I mean, look at it. It's human arms all the way up. And just look at the detail on the face and the anatomy. That is just awesome. That is great character design. And you came up with this yourself?
Yeah. That's I don't know how I came up with that, but I just thought it was such a cool idea to replace the legs with arms, and it just really had a cool look to it. So, and he's pretty fierce looking, so he'll be the king on the next planet. So he won't show up probably till like issue 4 or 5. But when you're talking about world building, that's kind of what I think of. I start coming up with characters later down the road, and he'll be the main one coming up. So
Greg Johnston says that rocks.
Yeah,
it really does.
Man.
Really impressive, really impressive. And just the artwork alone is impressive. And then adding obviously the character design. Beautiful work. Great job. Now that's just an example, guys, of what you're going to get out of this book as far as creativity, as far as art, as far as design, as far as passion and effort. I mean, if he can create this one character so well, imagine what the hell, what the rest of the book looks like, guys. So where are we going? We're going to Kickstarter. Where are we going? We're going to the Silence 2. That's what we're doing. Or I will find you and toilet paper your house. And I have lots of toilet paper. No, I wasn't one of those hoarders at the beginning.
I thought that was the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
So funny.
No, I don't. Toilet paper never saved me from getting the flu, so I didn't think it was going to help me with the pandemic. Anyway, but that's another story of idiocy. I was leaning and I created a room.
All right.
So if anybody got an invitation to join a room and Messenger with me, that was because I was leaning on my phone looking closely at this character. So sorry about that. Terry says, I love this character. You know, I also like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, did you ever read Seven to Eternity by Image?
Yes. That's one of my favorite books of all time.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And just like the Mud King.
Yeah.
2 simple words put together. It's really interesting. Yeah. Well, the Caterpillar King. I don't. There's something about that is so simple, but yet so creative and so cool.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of times, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of times the simplest ideas are usually the most profound. I'm all for complexity and detail, but usually it's those simple ideas that really make you think a little bit. Like, wow, I'd never considered that, but it was such a simple idea to put arms as legs. Why hasn't it been? It might have been done. I don't know, but either way, like it's usually those little ideas that really make a difference. So yeah, for sure.
Oh, I agree. And look, I mean, sometimes pencils look the best. Sometimes it looks great when something's inked, and sometimes colors look best.
Yeah.
I would love the pencils are perfect, and I'm curious to see this inked and the color palette. You know what he would look like at some point, which means he has to get it colored, which means he needs money, which means you have to pledge. If you pledge enough money by enough people, he'll do it in full color.
There you
and
go.
You've seen some samples of what he looks like in full color. And if you haven't, let me show you. Because the color just looks brilliant on your work. This is a little slow, sorry, hang on. I mean, I think you sent like one or two color, right? I mean, it was on. We did see it on your page too.
Yeah, the covers are colored.
Yeah,
the insides are black and white, but yeah.
I can't, man. Well, it's on the. It's also on the Kickstarter page, isn't it? The color.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's just do that. That's easier.
Excuse me.
That's where we wanted to go back anyway. Oh, wait, is it on here? No, I don't. You don't have the colored covers.
Oh,
on the
samples.
page.
No, sorry. It's in the video, I think. But yeah, sorry.
Hang
it's
on.
not on there.
Comic books. It was on your website.
Yeah, if you go to silencecomics.com, there's, I think the color versions are on there.
All right, let's do that. Meanwhile, tell us why we want to buy this book.
Why do you want to buy this book? Well, I think it's a great book. I mean, I love this book. I mean, it's what I'm trying to do with this book, and I said it in the video, I'm trying to create something that's more than just a comic book, that it's a work of art, and something that's beautiful, not just entertaining, or not just like, oh, that's a great story, but something like you walk away with like, wow, that book is deep, but it's not boring. It's something that's intriguing and works on multiple layers. And I feel like this book does that. I feel like it's just philosophical enough without being over the top. If you take a simple read through it, it may not seem that deep, but then you go back through and you'll see that there's a lot of allusions to things and layers of meaning and other things that are going on in the book. In the first book, for example, I'll tell you two of my favorite pages. One of them is Naomi's flying over the sky and all the blades have come out, and it's actually right behind my head. That one right there. She's flying over the sky and she's killing all these robots. And the quote there is, it says, to be blind is to be like God. And then it goes on. Then she goes on to say, if I can create all these amazing things,
but if I can create such beauty with my mind, why did God create me so deformed with his?
Yes. And so just little lines like that are not like big philosophy textbooks, but they're like important questions that just really make you think, like, yeah, like, why is the world the way it is? Or there's another line in there I put where Dr. Polaris says to his little robot companion, he's questioning, am I really human at this point? Because he's gotten so many enhancements that he's almost more a robot than human. And he says, no, I know I'm human, not because I create, but because I destroy. And
nice.
I just with that line, I'm just
powerful.
making you're just throwing out, like, what is it about us? Like, when you look at the world, there's a lot of positivity, absolutely. But when you look at the world, there's also a lot of destruction. Why is that? Why do we tend to do that? So it's deep on that kind of level where you're not getting like pages of some esoteric, trying to think about abstract thought. It's just little pieces in there that make you think more about life. So
it's a great line though, and it's very powerful. Yeah, I found it on the website, but you can't like enlarge it. So here we go. Now I got it.
Okay.
Sorry, it took a little while, but I got there. Let me show this one first. So these are the covers, guys, and this is just an example of what you can see when you color his work, and that means you gotta support. I mean, look at that, beautiful. Look at that. And then if we go forward through some of the art,
that's kind of how I framed out the story in 4 movements. That's what that is. Just maps it out, helps me, and then helps the reader too.
cool.
And yeah,
and this is that explosion, obviously, that happens in the building, which is very significant on that planet, like you said.
Yeah.
Comics Mate, good day, good day. What's going on? How are you? Thanks for coming out. By the way, if anybody here has their own podcast or live stream, reach out to Chad because he's got 28 more days to push his campaign. And we'd love to see him on another show.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
So, I mean, look what color can do. I mean, I personally love your line work. But, you know, color, you could do a color version and the black and white version and provide both. If enough people back it and he can afford to pay a colorist. So let's go, people. The man just quit his job.
There you go.
No seriousness. Every single one of us is struggling in some way to get the life that we want. Well, Chad he took the dive. It takes bravery, it takes courage, it takes a lot of determination and belief in yourself to say, I'm going to do my best to make this happen. Hey, Alfie, what's going on? And at the end of the day, or at the end, you know, whenever it's your time to go, at least you won't look back at life with regret. You'll say, I gave it my 100% shot. But here's the deal. We can help him. We can help this decision be a good one, even if it's $5. Put a little good out there, guys. Share a little karma, you know. And you know, I'm not really a believer in karma because to me that's like you're doing something to get something back. My motto is I do because I can. That's it. And anything that comes good of that is just an added bonus that I'm grateful for. I don't do anything to barter to get to heaven because the truth is I don't think you're gonna fool God anyway. So, so just. What's wrong with putting a little goodness out there, you know? You know, a $5 donation, the $3 PDF, share it out. And this is what I remind everybody. If money is not available to you, because I understand, the best things you can do cost nothing. When you see Chad's posts, like it and make a short comment. Great job, beautiful work. A thumbs up emoji. You want to know why? The more comments in a post, it gets bumped up in the Facebook feed and it shows more in everybody's news feed. So guess what? Your 10 seconds you took to put a thumbs up and a like, if enough of you did that, you'd be introducing Chad's work to maybe 50 to 100 new people. And if 50 of those people, maybe 8 back, that's a big difference in his campaign. And it costs you nothing. Nothing. And at least you can walk away at the end of the day and said you made a difference in somebody's life, because at the end of the day we all want to feel significant. We want to leave a mark on the world. What better mark to leave than to know that you helped somebody achieve their dream and make them happy? And if we all had a philosophy, well, then they're going to be doing it for you too. I mean, that's the point, right? Positive energy goes around everywhere until somebody stops it. You know, you look at electrodes, right? You take one of them off, you stopped the current, you stopped the flow, you know? Don't be that don't be that electrode. Don't be that one. You know what I'm saying? Keep the flow going because eventually it's going to come back to you.
I really appreciate what you were saying about sharing and commenting on people's posts. Like, the one thing it drives me crazy is when people say like, oh man, more people should know about you. Like, why hasn't anyone heard about you? And then they don't like or comment. And I'm always like, because of that, like you can't, like the algorithm, not to sound pessimistic, but it really is stacked against you. Like in order to get out there, like people have to comment, they have to share, they have to like. That's how it gains, like you said, that's how it gains momentum, because that's how it's built. Like Facebook wants to make money and TikTok and all that. and they'll make money the more a post does well. And so they only promote those that continue to get attention. And so that really does, like you said, if you don't have money, then get attention on artists, not just me, just anyone in general.
Right.
It really does
And
help.
again, you don't have to type in any long sentence. It's considered a comment if you just put an emoji, a smiley face, a thumbs up, or just great job. You know, that's it. I have people that did not back my campaign, and they were apologizing to me, but they were sharing me out all the time. They were making comments on my. I told them, I said, "What are you apologizing for? Your support has been fantastic. Support does not only come in the form of money."
That's right.
So I mean, please, absolutely, just you can make such a difference. And sometimes you don't even realize the littlest thing you do is making a difference.
Yep, absolutely.
Jason said, logging in and seeing even one new backer is such a great feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
And there's the other thing that it does that we don't talk about. That it kind of quiets that self-doubt that you're hearing in your ear. When you get a backer, it kind of goes away for a little while, and then you get another backer, and you start to build that confidence. You start to think, maybe I am doing this for a reason. Maybe this isn't for nothing.
Yep. Man, that just happened to me the other day because I launched my Patreon at the same time as a Kickstarter, and like it got 0. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe this wasn't smart. Like everyone's doing Patreon now, so like, whatever. And then I got 3, and I cannot tell you the feeling that was like. It was like, oh yes, like even if it were just 1, like I love making the videos and making the content for that one person, like that one person that could change their life. So like that it's amazing, even just 1. So like when you were saying before during the show, I got two people did the Kickstarter. That's amazing. I love that because you never know, like that one person could know one person could know one person, and they share the book with them, and then all of a sudden, it blows up or whatever. So
domino effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
It takes one domino to get the other ones to fall in line.
Yeah.
It's true. And to be honest with you, it just sounds like an interesting story, and the artwork is beautiful. I mean, that's really the 2 things you need out of a comic book, right? An interesting story and beautiful artwork, and the silence is both.
Thank you.
So I don't see the problem. I've seen people back some crappy stuff, and no disrespect, but
yes.
I mean, it's just true, and I don't begrudge those people. Look, good for them. If they're successful, I'm happy for them. I am. But the quality in this book that you're putting out is professional. It's up there. And if you look at some of the writing that you just talked about, I mean, that's some really great writing and some profound statements made that make you think. Now, I know we're in a society that doesn't want to think anymore. They want to watch, America's Got Talent and all this other crap, and that's great. But maybe we should start thinking again.
Yeah.
Well, before we go tonight, Chad, first of all, you've been a supporter of mine, and I thank you so much. I don't know if a friend requested you or me, whatever, but for about a year, I think now, we've been friends on Facebook, and you've been nothing but good to me, and I appreciate that greatly. And I sincerely wish you the most success. I want to see your art business boom. I do not want you thinking that maybe you were foolish or foolhardy, and I don't think you were. I really don't. I don't know you, but I don't think you were. Yeah. So when that voice comes calling, message me, and I'll tell it to shut the hell up.
All right. Thank you very much. And I would say, like, and I've told you this, and I've told other people, like you are tireless when it comes to supporting indie comics, and I really appreciate that, because there are people like me that we're just thankful to get on shows like this and to know people like you, and just all the things that you do for us is just amazing. And I
don't see that I do anything. I really don't.
Well, you do, because, for example, a show like this is phenomenal. Like it's to be on a show like this is a huge blessing to someone like me, because you have given the opportunity for people to see my work, and it's not just me, just whoever's on this show. and it helps me discover new people too. Like when I see your show and all the different people that you have on there, like it's awesome to learn of new creators. And so just in doing that alone has done so much to support us. And then on top of that, like you run your own conventions and you're doing your own work and stuff like that. Like that's incredible. It really is. And so I'm just always thankful for you. And that's why I love to follow you and support you in everything you're doing. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I wasn't fishing for compliments, but thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah.
I don't handle compliments well, so I really don't. But they are appreciated. They're awkward for me. I don't know how to respond. And I honestly don't feel like I'm doing anything great. I just do what I do. My philosophy too is if I were to ever make it big, it just gives me the platform to bring other people with me. I think a lot of people make it big and they go, oh, look at me, I'm above, and they like their lofty tower.
Yeah.
I don't. If I'm blessed to make it big in the way we're talking about industry wise, and I've already made it big with my beautiful family and things like that. But why not? You have the platform to bring people with you.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
So Terry says she loves that the indie section of her LCS has grown tremendously, and it has in all stores. And Alfred, I saw what you wrote, and it's very kind of you. It's not about me; it's about Chad. So, but thank you. That was very kind of you. Roy Mercado, amazing artist, said, "Yo, Chad."
Yes, say hello. I appreciate you coming on the show, and I appreciate the comment. I've seen your work, and it's huge compliments that you've given me, and I really appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing more of what you put out there. So for sure, it's good to get to know you.
Did you see the cover he just did for me?
No, which one?
Oh my God, I'll show it to you later because the show's not about me. But Roy Mercado just did a cover for me that is insane. And Russ Cassidy colored it, and it's insane. Both are they're both so good, like the colored and the black and white, that I'm doing them as a set for my Indiegogo. Just phenomenal talent, really, really nice guy, and went through some really tough times family wise, and I'm so happy that worked out and he's doing okay. And his family is together and well. So, God bless you, Roy. I hope everything continues. So again, before we go, just to reiterate, in case anybody did just jump on like Roy, give us the pitch as to why this comic book, The Silence 2 and The Silence, the first one, should be purchased on Kickstarter right now.
Okay. So this book is a sci-fi book, but it's unlike any other sci-fi book you've ever read. It is both entertaining and deeply philosophical and thought-provoking. It's got beautiful art, it's got profound writing, and it's got a mix of narrative, poetry, classic comic book storytelling, all mixed together. So if you like fine art, contemporary art, and you like comic book work, and you want something that entertains you and makes you think, then this is the book for you.
I'm a backer, guys. I got both books. I've wanted them. I was mistaken. I thought The Silence was on Kickstarter last year, and I couldn't afford it. But I think you were selling it, post Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the money at the time, but I definitely knew I would, back, because I remember you seeing videos yet you're doing another one. Also, you have a lot of the Facebook stories where you show with cool music in the background and you show yourself drawing and stuff. Which again, if you find that interesting, he has a Patreon page, guys. It's $5 a month, and you can enjoy the art process. You can enjoy, picking his brain about things. There's art prints every month for the art of the month. There's original art. Again, $5 a month is it's nothing. I mean, look at the stuff you spend money on that you get no return on it, no investment. And what's the big investment you get out of the money you spend is community. You get to know Chad. You get to talk to other Patreon people, If you're sitting home alone, groups like that are great to be a part of and talk with people.
Or with the Patreon, if you know of, like, let's say you have a niece that is just growing up trying to learn how to draw, And this is a great resource because I'll be putting out a lot of tutorial videos. I'm actually going to be working on a series of tutorial videos with my friend Jeremy that did the video for my Kickstarter. And we're going to be doing teaching people how to draw. And so that'll be coming out in the future as well. So yeah, it's a great gift to give someone. It's not just, you don't need it for yourself. If you know someone that's an aspiring artist, I would love to be a part of mentoring them in a small way by putting out those videos, and it's a great investment. So
absolutely. Man, you really, I think you're on the right track with the websites, the comic books, the Kickstarter campaign, the Patreon. I think you're gonna be great. I think you can do fine.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I think the only thing that would stand in your way is you. So don't let it.
Thank you.
Now, will you be going to Indiegogo as well? You're just gonna stay at Kickstarter?
I'll probably just do Kickstarter. I may do Indiegogo in the future, but for this one, I'll just do the Kickstarter.
And then you said this is an ongoing, at least for 40 issues that you have story of, correct?
Yeah, so 4 volumes of 10 each. So yeah, that'll be 40 issues.
And the other thing I tell everybody, seriously, is you never know if you're getting on the ground floor of something big. I mean, at one point, nobody knew who Todd McFarlane was, or they didn't take him, as this serious thing. And would you have loved to have original piece from him when he was starting out? Now, imagine what that'd be worth. You never know who you're backing and what they're going to be, and you might want to get on the ground floor.
Yep.
So. Well, look, I can't believe we've been on for an hour and 52 minutes. That's
awesome, man.
It goes quick.
Yeah,
it goes smooth. I have fun. Yeah. Guys, 28 days doesn't mean wait 28 days. You pledge now. The money doesn't come out until the campaign's over. So you don't have to worry about the money coming out this minute. But don't wait. Please, don't wait. Go to the Kickstarter now. Go pledge. Whatever you can. And share it out. Share.
Absolutely.
Also, another tip before we go, if you are a Kickstarter, if you're running a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, do not write the full words Kickstarter Indiegogo in the post. Do not put the link in the post, or Facebook is going to bury it because they want you to pay for promotion. Write KS for Kickstarter, IGG for Indiegogo. Put the link in the chat. I do think they're starting to catch on to that too. So what you can do is put up a post and say, anybody who's interested, I will send you the link in DM. Remember, Facebook Messenger is a different app. It is not Facebook. So you can communicate there very well. If you're interested.
That's good to know. I'm guilty of that. I've done that a couple times. Put the link on my posts. So
yeah. And what did you get? 3 people?
Yeah.
That's why Facebook isn't showing it to anybody. I haven't seen it. Yeah. So put it in the chat, and if that doesn't help, just put in, what's going on, KS or IGG, and just say, anybody interested, I will send you a direct link in DM if you'd like. Guys, we got it. We're the little guys, and we're fighting Goliath, but David did win. So let's go.
There you go.
Let's do it. All right, Chad, it was great having you on, my friend. I'm glad you finally got to be here. You dumped me twice. It was like high school all over again.
Hey, just real quick. I see Terry's question. Will you be signing the books? Yes, on request. If you want a book signed, just let me know and I'll do it. So,
I felt pretentious, so I didn't bother signing them, and I didn't even offer it as a tier. I see people tier signing the book, but I'm like, who the hell am I? I'm not. My signature means nothing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If you want it signed, I'll sign it. I'm not going to charge you extra or anything like that. So yeah. Yeah,
I had someone at the show I was just at this weekend. Larry Strong was there, and Larry Strong did a cover for me, and Larry said, "Oh, the writer's over there," and the guy asked me to come over and sign it with Larry, and I was like, "Really, me?" Okay. Becky Fuller asked me to sign hers, and I'm like, me? Oh, okay, I guess. I mean, okay, thank you. And Chad, if you don't know this, and any creators don't know this, you have to come up with your own signature. Do not use your regular signature, because next thing you know, that's going to be taken from that book and put on a check.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So make sure you have your comic book signature and your business, you're doing the business side, and make sure nobody knows about that one. All right. Well, we're full of tips on this show. Look at that.
That's right.
I'm giving you pearls here. I'm giving you pearls.
I know, this is awesome. Yeah.
Chad, you're a cool dude, man. And I think it's great. I love seeing people jump in and swim and take that risk, because the cliche saying is the biggest risk is not taking one. It's the friggin' truth. Just do it. Yeah. The Nike commercial, just do it. But it's true.
That's right.
It's true. Look, everybody who's famous right now at one point was where we are, but they weren't afraid.
Yeah.
And they didn't listen to that voice, and they busted their ass.
That's right.
You have to bleed, you have to sweat, and you have to sacrifice, real sacrifice. Nothing's getting handed to you. And if you're going to quit in round one just because you didn't get the knockout punch right away, then you should have never been in the damn ring to begin with.
That's right. That's right.
It's 12 rounds, and this is the first minute of round one. Come out swinging. Anyway, Chad, man, have a great night. Thanks for being a guest.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I wish you the best of success with everything you do, and I can't wait to be on your good side when you're a big-time artist.
Well, you're already on my good side, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been awesome. I really appreciate being on the show. Thank you.
All right, and you tell your wife she's awesome for supporting you the way she does.
I will, absolutely. I will. Thank you.
Terry said, thanks, Chad, and have a good night, man. And this is the beginning of the journey, man. Awesome journey ahead of you.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night.
All right.
That is Chud Nuss, The Silence. And Silence 2 is the issue that is on Kickstarter now, but you can get both books. I don't know if Jason's still here. Can you throw that link in again? If not, when I get off, I'll throw the link in. Or if Chad is off, you can throw it in there. Guys, seriously, I know I just keep preaching this, but come on, it really sounds like a good book. It looks beautiful. He's a really good guy. He's a family man. He's taken a big jump, leaving his job to find his happiness and his passion. And I know that a lot of us feel maybe bitter that we're not able to do that right now, but don't let that affect you and your ability to help him make that happen. Come on, man. Let's help each other, all right? The Silence and The Silence 2 are on Kickstarter right now. It's Chud Nuss. Scrolling on the bottom are his Facebook, his Instagram, and his TikTok. Go support any way you can. Share, like, comment, pledge, donate, word of mouth, everything. Let's do it. Now, thank you, Jason. He's awesome. He put it in again. So, look, I really appreciate you guys. Real quick, a few announcements, and I'll let you go. Today, we started Tragedy Issue 2. Ricardo is on the roughs right now for me to overlook and review. August 14th, August 12th, Tragedy 1 goes to Indiegogo with new covers by Roy Mercado, who's in the chat. Beautiful covers. His original and the version colored by Russ Cassidy. And my wife's cover is a wraparound. So those are new to the Indiegogo. We're not going to have all the Kickstarter covers on there, just a selection of them. So keep that in mind. But if you wanted a cover that you missed on a Kickstarter and it's not on Indiegogo, reach out to me. We could sell it that way. So after August 12th's launch in Indiegogo, August 14th is my very first store signing at Androids Comics in Sayville, Long Island. I will be there with Henry Martinez, who's a cover artist who also drew Spirits of Vengeance and Blaze in the 90s and drew for Malibu, The New Exiles, and Mantra. And Mato Zapata will be there, who is a cover artist and colorist of many of the covers on Tragedy. They'll be taking commissions. They'll be signing books. We'll be selling books. I'll be signing books if you care. If you want to just come out and hang out and say hi, I'm happy with that. You don't have to buy anything. Just come say hi to me. That's it. Maybe we haven't met in person on Facebook. It would be great to meet you in person. And then August 28th is the Legendary Art Show. The Legendary Art Show has Koi Fam. It's sponsored by Scott Hanna and Pam Patak, his wife, their Arts and Fashion Institute. Scott is going to do portfolio reviews for anybody who comes in the early bird. Early bird's only $8 at the door. You come in an hour early, you get good 10 minutes with him in a portfolio review. Nobody else is giving you that. Keith Williams will also do portfolio review for Inkers, and Tony Cordos for Inkers. It's $5 cash at the door if you come in at regular time, 10 o'clock. We have CGC Witness Signature Series going on there. So if you want books signed by these artists, or if you have a sketch cover you want a CGC, we have witness facilitators there on behalf from Royal Collectibles that will take care of that. Mask mandates aren't affecting the show. We're going to be playing it safe with temperatures, and even though things are getting better, we were still going to do temperatures. We were still going to do the survey. We would still ask people to social distance as much as possible. It's an open floor. We do not have aisles. They're surrounding the outside of the room so that you have plenty of space to not crowd each other. We will keep it safe. Remember, I'm a nurse, so I understand infection control. We will also have sanitizer stations and things of that nature. So we will have staff cleaning door handles and chairs and tables that you're touching regularly with Clorox wipes and disinfectants. So we will be cleaning throughout the day. Koi Fam, Scott Hanna, Keith Williams, Larry Stroman, Sean Chen, Bob Sharon, colorists from the 80s when you really had to hand color. You weren't digital coloring. He's great. He's on a ton of books that you probably have in your collection and love. Tony Cordos, inked for DC. Alex Rivera is an inker. Rodney Ramos, he's one of the Ramita Raiders, along with Keith Williams. So we have a great lineup, guys, and I'm praying, I might have a huge guest announcement. I will hopefully know tomorrow. It may not happen, so forgive the tease. But if what someone said to me comes true, I'm going to have a huge guest announcement for this show. We'll hope. All right, look, that's everything that's going on. Of course, I've got my CreatorCon Q&A on Friday. Who do we have Friday? Yeah, I have it right here. Oh, we got my boy Nander Fox Schaefer. Nander Fox Schaefer, a really good guy, will be my Friday guest. He's an awesome dude. He's got his book out right now. It's Kickstarter. I think it launched today. I'll have to double check. So we're going indie again. My show. We do indie. We do mainstream. We do some of the biggest names in the industry, and we also do some of the awesome indie people trying to make their way. So anyway, enough of my rambling. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your support. Thanks for supporting my guests. And helping give them exposure. Thanks for everything you do for me. I am greatly humbled and appreciative of all of you. I've gotten to meet some good people, and I'm really happy that I have. And no matter what happens with my Kickstarters or my company, whatever, just being able to meet these the people I have has been more than worth everything I'm doing. So. You guys are awesome. God bless you. And have a wonderful evening. And I'm going to leave you with real quick. Next Thursday, the 12th, I will have a live stream launch party for the Kickstarter. The Indiegogo of Tragedy #1. So come out and hang out with that too. That's next Thursday, not this Thursday. I can't wait to meet you too, Terry. And I really can't wait to meet you after you've gone through all your crapola and the treatments and everything is good. And I want to see you happy and healthy and doing well. That's what I want to see. So anyway, be legendary and have fun storming the castle.